Today in this video, we are going to be testing this thing out. This is called the RadRunner 2. It's a very unique bike, and I love the look of it. And I have a Nocto Super Cruiser, and that's a 750 watt motor. This is 750 watt. It doesn't look it. This one does not have a rear derailleur like the Nocto, but it's an incredibly good commuter. So let's look around this bike and see what this is all about. First of all, there is a electrification going on right now. Lots of Teslas, lots of different cars, but bikes are just absolutely everywhere, and the prices of electric bikes has come down so much that now it doesn't make sense to even commute in a car, especially if you live around a big city like the Washington DMV, where you can access trails that take you to just about anywhere. This particular bike, I don't know the range yet. It's advertised as 40-mile range. Of course, it'll be much better if you pedal the bike. This one does have a 1-speed transmission and then a 4-speed power assist, or you can just use the throttle to assist or just completely use it as a moped. It's a really intricate and unique design. You know, it's the step through, so this makes it very easy for all sorts of heights of people, so very easy to use. That's actually one of the things I don't like about the Nocto, is that it's got the huge bar. It's a cruiser, so it makes sense, but this is a much more usable type of bike for various people. So if you have a wife that's a little bit shorter than you, you can still ride the same bike. Another really important thing with the RadRunners is that they come with all accessories, all sorts of accessories, like the front rack so you can put a basket. There's a compartment here, and of course it's got this incredible sturdy rear rack that you can put additional bags so you can carry things, and includes also has an optional seat. So if you have a kid, a child, or whatever, you can take this bike to the school with your kid in the back. It's that easy. This particular rack is really useful, and as you can tell, you can put a lot of weight on this, and it's got the necessary holes here and there to basically strap, say, food delivery bags on there. So really usable, and this is known as a cargo bike, and of course, because it's a cargo bike, it's got a lot of capacity to hold weight. I mean, that's a pretty sturdy rack built into the frame. Another really important thing about this particular bike is that it's got a rear tail light. Not just a tail light, but a brake light. You do not see this on, not even my Nocto, which I paid much more than this, and it does not have a rear brake light. This one has a rear and front mudguard, so you'll never get wet on those morning commutes. It's got a 750 watt motor, and it only has 1 speed. So on some bikes, you can get a rear derailleur and be able to shift when you're riding, but not this one. This one is limited by 1. And it's not that bad. You know, when you have an electric bike, you really don't need to shift all that much. The left side, you have a disc rotor. This is a mechanical disc rotor, not hydraulic. I think, but it feels pretty good. Right here, they have the controller. It's tucked underneath, and it's also protected by a steel or aluminum bash plate. This one does not have a kickstand, but it does have a center stand, and it's very easy to put it up on there. Now, one of the downsides, of course, is this. It's a plastic pedal. It would be nicer if at this price point they should come with metal. You do have mount points for bottles in the front here and one in the down tube. Seat is also kind of one of those shorty seats, Rad Power bike, so you can tell it's got the logo on here, but it's a pretty distinct looking seat. It does have the quick release mechanism, and right in here, this is where the battery is. With the key, you have this. Turn it all the way to the left. That's how you release the battery from the frame, and then you bring it to here. That's like the normal position. This is the on position. When you have it in the on position, you can power it on on the dashboard. So this is like just normal. One thing to keep in mind is that to charge the battery, you have to leave it on the on position and then charge it. On the battery here, you have a status update, so you can push it as long as you have it on the on. You can see how much battery you have. It's just a little mini indicator. The handlebars kind of remind me of motocross, you know, those little tiny motocross that people had as kids, but it's a very comfortable position for the handlebars. And it's, look at this, you also have a cross brace here. When you have a cross brace, what I would use this for is to mount my phone, get a nice phone mount, maybe even a bottle holder, you know, so you can drink your coffee while you're commuting. And it does have a reflector up front, but it has a electric headlight, so it's not great condition, or it's plastic, it looks kind of cheap. The light itself has got a switch on and off, so if you want it on and off, you can do that. And it just seems kind of cheap. Another really interesting thing about this is that you have another mount point for a large cargo rack. I really appreciate that about this, because if you're going to use it as a commuter, you might do grocery runs, and that's why you would need additional storage. You do not have suspension in the front forks. They're kind of stiff, but you do have a nice single rotor up front with the mechanical brake. And in the controls, the left one, you have the brake, and then here you have a nice little bell that sounds good, not too annoying. And then on here you have the controls. Now this is a little bit antiquated. What I would like about the future updates of this, or maybe they have a different version of it, I would prefer an LCD, and the LCD is centrally mounted. But this is not bad, you know, it's simple. This is the price point that you get. So you have the levels up here, you have the plus and minus, so basically 1, 2, 3, and 4, how to control that. You have your headlight button right there, and you have your power on and off button there. Really simple. At front here, you have another battery level. You know, I think it's kind of like a strange design. This should be facing the user, not this way. I know that you'll walk around and see it, but I would rather have everything visible to the rider. And on the right side, you have this, a nice throttle. So on mine, I have a thumb throttle. This is much more intuitive for riders. This is the RadRunner 2, and this is a class 2. It's limited to 20 miles per hour, and it's got a 750 watt motor, which is really strong for such a small bike. All right, guys, it is time to take this bike out for a spin and see how she does. All right, guys, I am on the RadRunner, and I wanted to show you a couple of things. I rode it here to the National Harbor, beautiful National Harbor here in Maryland. Over there is Alexandria and the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, and this thing, it rides really well, but because of the step through design, you basically have a couple of things, like a little bit more instability. This is more of a casual type of ride, you know, just leisurely. Remember, it doesn't go over 20. You could get a controller and change it so it actually goes faster, because the motor itself, that's a 750 watt motor, so it's capable of going faster. And one of the things that happens with this, because of the step through design, it creates a little bit more flex. So this kind of transmits a lot of input to the wheel. So it feels like you need to have both hands at the handlebars at all times. So that's good. And then if you want to see the level, I'm at 0. And if I put it to 4, that's the highest. And I have my headlight on. So headlight, you can actually manually turn it off here as well. But I think like the stability is a little bit strange on it. I'm taking a little bit more time to get used to it. The bigger wheels are easier, are nicer to ride fast. This one, it's limited to 20, and that's actually a good thing because I don't think you want to go faster than 20 on it. I'm pretty sure you can get an LCD display. I mean, even the Chinese kits that you get have a much nicer display. And I believe, yeah, even the one I have probably will go directly on here, but because it gives you like the voltage, the status of the battery, so it makes much more sense to have that rather than this sort of system. This is level 1, and you could just ride it as a moped, just twisting the throttle. One of the things that I find, you have to get any workout because it's a single speed with the chain. To get a workout, you have to leave it in first and then just pedal it. But if you pedal it hard, you're just your cadence is way too high. I haven't tested the miles on it yet, but I still have a full charge. I know the downside with these batteries is that they will start losing charge eventually. So when that happens, I believe a new battery for this particular bike is about $250 to get a new battery. Commute on this is actually probably more enjoyable. This is one of the trails leading up to Washington DC and Virginia, so it's very easy to ride and not be around cars. That's the one thing I tell people: get an e-bike because you can basically commute without any of the hassle of the traffic. Alright guys, this is the MGM hill. I have a full charge and I want to see how well it does climbing up this hill. And I am just going to do throttle. I've come here and I usually bring my other bikes with gears and kind of test them out, but I'm going to do a full throttle test. Now I'm only using my right hand, so I'm trying to be careful here, because on this bike riding one-handed is kind of iffy. It's right now I'm actually full throttle, don't know the speed, definitely under 20, but it's still climbing. This little thing is still climbing. Throttle. Will it climb without pedaling? On this hill, it's a good way to practice climbing nice steep hills, because it goes up for quite a way into Oxon Hill. You see, riding with one hand, the steering kind of just wobbles all over. You want to have the two hands to kind of steady it. The little tiny wheels and the handlebars just transmit a lot of energy. But we're almost at the top. I'm assuming it's going like 12 miles per hour. I'll have to check my Strava. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the RadRunner 2. Hope you enjoy it. It's a really nice bike, very easy to live with. And of course, nowadays, these e-bikes are becoming cheaper and cheaper, and it makes a whole lot of sense to buy one for your commute. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.